Hello, everyone. Today, we will be following a shocking case. Tiffany Henyard, a woman accused of embezzling up to $2 million, has officially been arrested by the FBI. Let's dive into the details of this case and the surrounding events in the video right after this. Henyard has stated that she is supporting a new board of directors but has not revealed their identities yet, promising to announce them by the end of the month. Henyard is currently under investigation by the FBI, with a shocking development unfolding in Thorin Township and Dalton when Mayor Tiffany Henyard, who also serves as the town supervisor and self-styled super mayor, was arrested by federal agents earlier today. This dramatic turn of events follows years of controversy, including allegations of corruption, reckless leadership, and public missteps that have divided the community and attracted widespread attention for months. Rumors of an FBI investigation into Henyard had spread due to accusations of misconduct, abuse of power, and questionable decision-making. While many speculated about potential legal issues, few predicted that the situation would escalate so suddenly. Henyard's arrest marks the culmination of years of increasingly close scrutiny, with mounting evidence and growing public concern over her actions as a leader. News of the arrest has left the towns of Dalton and Thorin in disbelief, shaking a community already divided by Henyard's bold and often controversial leadership style. Critics who have long accused her of selfish and reckless actions now feel vindicated, viewing the arrest as confirmation of their claims. Conversely, Henyard's loyal supporters are trying to make sense of the situation to defend her as a misunderstood, ambitious leader who has been unfairly targeted by political opponents. Henyard's tenure has been marked by controversies, including allegations of overspending on personal luxuries and appointing an unqualified police chief. Despite facing significant criticism, she maintained her public image, frequently dismissing accusations as politically motivated while positioning herself as a trailblazer unfairly opposed. The arrest now shifts the story from political tragedy to legal calculations, placing her leadership under a new, troubling light. The community is reeling, grappling with mixed emotions: shock, anger, sadness, and uncertainty about the repercussions of this dramatic event on many people in the community. Critics see this moment as justice served, while her supporters view it as a politically motivated attack on a leader who refused to follow traditional rules. The arrest has plunged both Dalton and Thorin Township into a leadership crisis, leaving residents to question what will happen next with the uncertain fate of their controversial leader. The future of both communities is now at risk. Henyard's previously defiant image as the super mayor now faces significant redefinition, as her legacy may be tarnished by legal issues. The consequences at 6 o'clock in the mayoral battle of Dalton, Tiffany Henyard is preparing for re-election. To understand the catastrophic downfall of Mayor Tiffany Henyard, we must rewind and review the chain of events leading to her arrest. At the time of her appointment, Henyard's term as mayor of Dalton and Thorin town supervisor was marked by numerous controversies. Her leadership was often described as bold and unapologetic, quickly becoming infamous for allegations of corruption, misuse of taxpayer money, and abuse of power. These issues emerged as recurring themes, with reports of extravagant spending, from luxury travel and lavish events to questionable personal expenditures, causing outrage among residents who accused her of putting her own interests above public service. Her decisions, such as appointing unqualified individuals to key positions, further eroded public trust and amplified calls for accountability. Throughout this period, Henyard maintained a defiant stance, dismissing criticisms as politically motivated and positioning herself as a trailblazer unfairly targeted by opponents. However, The allegations continued to grow louder, leading to an FBI investigation that quietly took place over months, if not years. The investigation examined a range of allegations, including financial misconduct, mismanagement of town resources, and potential secret deals, raising serious doubts about Henyard's ethical standards. Public meetings became battlegrounds, with heated exchanges between Henyard and the trustees, reflecting the deep division in the community. Supporters praised her boldness, while critics saw her actions as reckless and selfish, fueling a political storm that engulfed the town. Ultimately, the bold moves that once defined her leadership became the very issues that led to her downfall. Henyard was arrested by federal agents, marking the shocking climax of a story that had haunted the Dalton and Thorin communities for years. Her collapse serves as a cautionary tale of how unchecked ambition, without accountability and transparency, can lead to chaos and ruin for a community. This moment symbolizes the calculation as people reflect on the tumultuous legacy of a leader whose rise and fall have left a lasting mark in the town's history. As of 2025, however, Tiffany Henyard has officially decided she wants to continue as mayor, despite the cloud of controversy surrounding her arrest. Mayor Tiffany Henyard, who is also the supervisor of Thornton Township and self-styled as the Super Mayor, was arrested early this morning at her home in Dalton, marking a significant moment in a story that has attracted the attention of federal agents. Federal agents stormed her property in a dramatic turn of events, with witnesses reporting the presence of her boyfriend, Kamal Woods, who has faced controversies of his own. Woods is said to have watched as Henyard was led to her detention. This event marks the conclusion of years of accusations and a federal investigation into her administration. While the exact charges have not been made public, sources say they include embezzlement, misusing public funds, and obstruction of justice related to her handling of finances in Dalton and Thorin. To understand the gravity of Henyard's arrest, one must reflect on the controversial journey that has followed her since she took office in 2012. From the start, her leadership was defined by a bold, larger-than-life personality. Henyard was dissatisfied with merely being the mayor or town supervisor. She gave herself the title of Super Mayor, which she proudly displayed on banners, billboards, and social media posts. Her face appeared throughout the towns of Dalton and Thorin, on promotional materials, flyers, events, and even the village's welcome signs. While her supporters viewed her as a dynamic and approachable leader, critics accused her of self-promotion by using public resources to promote her image rather than serving the community. However, Henyard dismissed these allegations with characteristic confidence, often claiming to be the mayor of the people and the supervisor of the people. Her public charm and presence garnered both admiration and skepticism, as her tenure increasingly became defined by controversies that went beyond her brand. Accusations of financial misconduct started to surface early in her term, including extravagant spending on personal luxuries and questionable allocation of public funds. This increased public criticism and distrust, especially as Henyard's ambitious and defiant style led to disagreements with trustees and community members. Tense council meetings became a hallmark of her administration, often reflecting deep divisions in the town. The federal investigation eventually led to her arrest, which had been quietly conducted over several months, examining the potential misuse of town funds and her interference with oversight and accountability efforts. The figure once defined by boldness and resolve is now increasingly tarnished by financial controversies and confrontations with other officials. The investigation has raised significant concerns about her management of taxpayer money, becoming a focal point of criticism demanding greater transparency and accountability. One of the most shocking allegations involves a frenzied $43,000 shopping spree on Amazon in just one day. It is alleged that these expenditures were charged to the village's account, including high-end furniture and many other unexplained purchases that left both residents and critics stunned. These shopping sprees were seen as a symbol of the lavish lifestyle of those in power, fueled by taxpayer money. This was not an isolated incident, as additional allegations of luxury travel and personal indulgences funded by taxpayers emerged over time. This increasingly erratic financial management pattern has caused widespread outrage and raised serious questions about leaders prioritizing personal interests over serving the community. Amid these controversies, one of the most contentious projects during her administration was the infamous Summer Ice Rink Club, which was allegedly intended to reduce sex trafficking in case of police harassment. This was a $2 million effort that many residents believed was constructed without proper approval or full transparency. The ice rink, which critics argued was more of a vanity project than a true community asset, was only open during events organized by Henyard herself. This led to accusations that the rink served her personal ambitions more than the community's needs. Critics viewed the ice rink as a prime example of Henyard allegedly misusing taxpayer money to fund projects that bolstered her public image, often prioritizing her image over the actual management of Dalton. However, Henyard's supporters defended the initiative, arguing that her goal was to improve the community by providing amenities and recreational opportunities for residents. They claimed that her bold approach to governance was misunderstood by those who opposed her vision. Despite these defenses, the financial controversies and accusations of reckless spending have cast a shadow over her leadership, sowing doubt among residents and drawing the scrutiny of auditors and oversight groups. As more details of her spending have been exposed, community dissatisfaction has grown, council meetings have increasingly become tense, with trustees and residents demanding greater answers and accountability. Allegations of unchecked spending, coupled with the perception that public funds were being diverted to personal or frivolous projects, have become the focal point of growing criticism of her administration. While Henyard's defenders continue to emphasize her charisma and vision for community improvement, her critics point to mounting evidence of poor financial management as a reflection of deeper issues in her leadership. The culmination of these financial scandals, coupled with Henyard's defiant responses to critics, has created an environment ripe for closer oversight. Her combative relationships with local officials and trustees only heightened the sense that she was no longer fit to lead. This set the stage for the federal investigation that ultimately led to her arrest, marking the catastrophic downfall of a leader once praised for her boldness and ambition. Her arrest represents the climax of years of escalating tensions with the southern suburbs, now having to reckon with the consequences of the catastrophic collapse the arrest has caused. It sent shockwaves throughout the towns of Dalton, Thornton, and the broader area, leaving residents to grapple with the fallout of the allegations and Henyard's legacy. For some, it represents a moment of vindication, proof that long-standing accusations against her were not unfounded. For others, it is a tragic end to a leader who promised to break barriers and connect with her constituents, but ultimately became a symbol of unchecked ambition and the dangers of a lack of accountability. As the details of the federal investigation are revealed, the community is left to reflect on Henyard's rise and fall. Her tenure will likely be remembered not only for her bold leadership, but also for her poor financial management and personal indulgence, which tarnished her time in office. The ongoing federal investigation will determine whether Henyard faces criminal charges, but the damage to her reputation has already been done. Her downfall serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked power, the importance of transparency in leadership, and the long-term impact of poor financial management on public trust in leaders. This has prevented Supervisor Tiffany Henyard from filing for candidacy for the board. So what is happening and why? Tiffany Henyard's leadership style was controversial, as her spending habits became a hallmark of her administration, deepening divisions and causing doubt from the outset of her term. It was marked by frequent clashes with the Dalton Village Management Council, setting the tone for a period of turmoil in local meetings, often turning into loud arguments with trustees. Critics accused Henyard of overstepping her authority to retaliate. She accused them of sabotage and obstruction. A particularly chaotic meeting caused Henyard to storm out after being heckled by both residents and trustees, shouting that they should be ashamed of themselves before leaving the room. These moments painted a picture of a leader who saw herself as besieged, not just fighting her critics, but the entire political establishment. Her combative approach extended beyond meetings and became a defining feature of her public persona. Henyard frequently took to social media to broadcast her grievances and target adversaries through fiery live broadcasts on Facebook. In these online tirades, she would call critics by name, accusing them of jealousy, personal vendettas, and working to undermine her leadership role. In one particularly incendiary broadcast, she labeled her detractors as enemies of progress and vowed to expose each one of them. Supporters rallied behind her boldness, praising her for confronting her opponents head-on, while critics questioned her professionalism and the appropriateness of using public platforms to launch personal attacks. Some residents also voiced concerns about the impact of this behavior on community unity and the political culture. The potential retaliation sparked accusations that Henyard used her influence to silence claims about her legacy. There were allegations that she used lawsuits, public defamation, and even town resources to target those who challenged her authority. Whether these claims were proven or not, they only added to the atmosphere of tension and suspicion, where opposition often met with fierce and personal responses. While Henyard's defenders saw her actions as the efforts of a passionate leader fighting for progress against constant obstruction, her critics argued that her leadership style was divisive, unprofessional, and ultimately harmful to the community. The escalating conflicts in both public meetings and on social media became emblematic of an administration defined more by controversy than by its accomplishments, leaving Dalton and Thornton Township deeply polarized and struggling to cope with the chaos created by Henyard's combative leadership. This led to early adjournments of meetings due to the absence of two trustees, as you mentioned, Chris Gonzalez and Carmen Carley. Without them, the board lacked enough members to make an official statement that Mayor Tiffany Henyard had begun to alienate key allies within her administration, further fueling the fire around her leadership. Over time, several former reporters, including trustees who once supported her initiatives, turned against her. They accused Henyard of concentrating power at the cost of openness and cooperation. Her former assistant, Carmen Carlyle, became a vocal critic, accusing Henyard of frequently bypassing established protocols to push her own agenda. Carlyle claimed that Henyard operated with a my way or the highway mentality, and in a recent interview, she expressed that Henyard's actions were driving people away, creating an atmosphere of suspicion and chaos. According to Carlyle, these internal divisions only widened the gap between Henyard and the board, contributing to the growing sense of disillusionment. The tension culminated when Henyard's trustees were accused of avoiding the board's approval on key decisions, including hiring among key executives. One such controversial decision was Henyard's appointment of Ronald Burge as the Dalton Police Department's director. Burge, whose state certification was allegedly inactive at the time, was accused of being unqualified for the position. Trustees argued that Henyard's unilateral decision to appoint him was illegal, but a judge ruled that Burge could serve temporarily. This appointment further heightened tensions between Henyard's administration and the town, with some residents and business owners expressing their concerns. Several individuals came forward claiming they were targeted by Henyard's office. One business owner accused that his company was shut down for refusing to donate to Henyard's campaign, while another claimed that Henyard used the Dolton Police Department as her personal law enforcement team to harass opponents and critics. Even Carmen Carlisle, Henyard's former assistant who had once been one of her closest allies, turned against her, identifying herself as a whistleblower. Carlisle accused Henyard of running the town as though it were a personal vendetta. Carlisle, a trusted confidant, particularly harmed Henyard's image. However, perhaps the most shocking accusations came from the trustees, who claimed Henyard forged checks and concealed financial data to bypass the board's authorization laws. Once believed to have a healthy surplus, the town was revealed to be in debt by millions. A preliminary financial report by former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot, hired to investigate the town's finances, painted a grim picture of poor financial management and lack of oversight. Henyard dismissed this report as politically motivated, criticizing her detractors for envy and personal animosity. In a particularly memorable Facebook Live video, Henyard directly addressed her critics, calling them biased and vowing to fight back. "When I sue people, I'm coming for those who defamed my name, defamed my character, and conspired to destroy Tiffany Henyard. I'm coming for everyone," she stated. Despite the controversy, Henyard continued to hold public events like turkey giveaways and holiday parties, using these occasions to defend her record and rally her supporters. However, while she focused on defending herself on social media, federal investigators quietly began their probe earlier this year, questioning witnesses and reviewing financial data from both Dolton and Thornton Township. As the FBI built their case, the investigation expanded to include Henyard's political committee and charitable organization, with investigators looking into allegations of money laundering and misusing taxpayer funds. The arrest of one of Henyard's top allies earlier this year marked a clear sign of the escalating tension in the investigation. This year is considered a turning point, with many speculating that he had agreed to cooperate with authorities in exchange for leniency. As news of Henyard's arrest spread, the community reacted quickly and with divided emotions. Supporters expressed shock and disbelief, while some accused the FBI of targeting Henyard simply because she was a young black woman in power. One supporter argued that despite public opposition, the arrest had been long overdue, adding that Henyard had run the town as if she herself were the ruler, the queen of the kingdom for many years. What does Henyard's arrest mean for the future of Dolton and Thornton, now that the mayor is in federal custody? There is a sense of uncertainty about the political landscape, with some residents and trustees calling for new leadership, while others are concerned about the long-term damage to the community's reputation. "We need to rebuild trust and restore integrity to local government," one trustee said, reflecting the sentiment that the scandal will take time to resolve. As things settle, it is clear that Henyard's loss of dignity will have lasting effects on the area, leaving the community to grapple with the consequences of a leader whose boldness and ambition ultimately led to her downfall.